Welcome to episode 374 of the Postal Hub podcast. I'm Ian Kerr. Joining me in a moment is Rohit Gunavanthe. Rohit is Head of Fulfilment at Pos Malaysia. We're going to be talking about e-commerce fulfilment and the post. Before we get to that, a quick reminder that the World Mail and Express Europe event is coming up very soon. It will be held in Rome from the 16th to the 18th of June. Visit wmxeurope.com for more information. So coming up after this short burst of upbeat music, we'll be speaking with Rohit Gunavanthe, Head of Fulfilment at Pos Malaysia. Joining me on the line is Rohit Gunavanthe. Rohit is Head of Fulfilment at Pos Malaysia. Rohit, welcome. We're going to talk about e-commerce fulfillment and some exciting things that you're doing in that space. You've got the brand Pos Fulfill. So why don't you just start by sharing a bit about how it works and how it fits in with what Pos Malaysia's strategy is as well, please.
Firstly, I think thanks, Ian. Thanks for getting me on this podcast. So yes, Pos Fulfill, it's something that wasn't there traditionally in Pos Malaysia. And if you look at Pos Malaysia, it's a 224-year-old company. And Pos Fulfill is one of the newest babies of Pos Malaysia. So a Pos Fulfill is basically a comprehensive fulfillment service introduced by Pos Malaysia in 2022 to meet customers' B2B and B2C supply chain demands across the country. What we do, we specialize in storage and order fulfillment, pick and real-time inventory management, offering businesses a comprehensive end-to-end solution, from a logistics perspective. And the reason I say it's comprehensive in a way is because it's the way we have structured and built the fulfillment service to fit in with other more established services of Pos Malaysia, and basically to offer a one-stop service to the customers. So as a result, our customers don't need to look beyond Pos Malaysia for any of their logistics requirements. So be it warehousing, last mile delivery, customs clearance, in-store deliveries, advertising mails, even fulfillment to the East Malaysia part of Malaysia. All these are various elements of this comprehensive one-stop service that we offer to customers. So that's what Pos Fulfill is about.
And you just mentioned East Malaysia. For those of us who are outside of the Southeast Asia region, that's a whole separate, it's not part of the same landmass either. We're talking about a whole different, it's on the island of Borneo. So Sarawak, is that the region? Is that what it's called?
So there are two states in East Malaysia. There's Sabah and Sarawak, beautiful states in East Malaysia. And it takes 2.5 hours of flight time to actually reach Sabah and about 2 hours to reach Sarawak.
So tell us now about how Pos Fulfill integrates with Pos Malaysia's existing distribution network, including the last mile.
So I'll give you a bit of history. And so when we actually started off with the idea of fulfillment services as part of our transformation plan back in 2022, we assessed Pos Malaysia's strengths back then, which traditionally has been and continues to be our network. And when I say network, it's a network on two fronts. It's a network in terms of the last mile delivery network, as well as the nationwide network of facilities, the sites that we have in the form of last mile sortation hubs, post offices, warehouses, and so on and so forth. So when we actually assess these two areas of strength and the services that fulfillment has to offer customers, we realized that there's a correlation between them. Some of our sites had unused spaces, as often happens when you have a lot of sites, to feed in parcel volume into a last mile delivery network. So we began exploring this solution to use these strengths to enable us to offer a service or a product which is efficient, fast in terms of delivery lead times, and something that helps address all customers' issues. So to answer your question, so on the back of our last mile delivery network capability, we had to continue forming a product which currently now has 8 fulfillment centers across Malaysia, and 7 out of these 8 fulfillment centers are co-located with our last mile delivery network. So it's basically a last mile delivery network on the back of which the fulfillment network of sites has been built.
And you mentioned there about the geographical spread. I might just ask now, what parts of Malaysia are covered by the network? And you also mentioned earlier on about cross-border. So is cross-border part of the mix as well?
Yes. So I'll answer these questions separately. So as firstly coming to the Malaysia part, as of where we are today, March 2025, we've got 8 fulfillment centers across Malaysia. And if you understand Malaysia as a geography, so we've got Peninsular Malaysia and East Malaysia. And within Peninsular Malaysia, I've got one up north in the city of Penang. I've got 3 sites in the central region. So that's about 4 sites in Peninsular Malaysia. And I've got actually 4 sites in East Malaysia. So East Malaysia in the states of Sarawak, I've got 2 sites. And then in the state of Sabah, I've got 2 sites. So overall, we have 8 sites in Malaysia. What's coming up is basically a new site in Johor, which is the southern part of Peninsular Malaysia. So that's something that we're looking forward to. Coming to your second part of the question, which is cross-border deliveries. Pos Fulfill is the fulfillment arm of Pos Malaysia group. But under the group, we have a subsidiary known as Readily Express, which manages cross-border parcel deliveries into multiple countries. And it works both ways, inwards and outwards from Malaysia and also Southeast Asia. But similar to the last mile delivery network, where Pos Fulfill works hand in hand with our last mile delivery network for local deliveries, it's the same concept even for Readily. So we work hand in hand with Readily for international deliveries.
When we talk about e-commerce fulfillment, the logical question becomes, how do we deal with e-commerce returns? So is e-commerce or is Pos Fulfill capable of handling e-commerce returns as part of its overall offering?
Oh, absolutely. So Pos Fulfill manages e-commerce order fulfillment, not just outbound, but also coming back into the warehouse or into our sites from the market or from customers. The transportation part and the beauty of this whole piece is the transportation part of the returns is taken care of by the courier piece of the business, and then they bring it into our warehouse, and we do the processing. And then the sortation based on sellable or damaged products. So yes, basically to answer your question, returns is an integral part of the fulfillment service, and it's a standard service.
And did you just say that your staff are involved in assessing the resellability, if that's indeed a word, of the goods when they're returned? Is that part of the offering that you have?
Not necessarily resellability. So basically, there are two types of inspection that we need to do. So if a parcel comes in as returns, we need to inspect whether the parcels are damaged in the first instance, just the outer packaging. So if it's damaged, then obviously we've got to go back to the brand and tell them that this is damaged. If it's not damaged and it's just returned because somebody just doesn't like the product, then we've got to open it, just check it whether there's no physical damage, and we put it back in inventory.
And now that you're 2 years into the project, what are some of the learnings you can share? How's the journey been so far?
It's been a busy but exciting 2 years, 2.5 years actually, as of now. The first 6 months were all about coming up with a plan, a master plan, and how we want to structure Pos Fulfill, identifying the potential sites within our network to be used for fulfillment services, even setting up required infrastructure, acquiring the necessary talent and skill sets, and then putting a commercial model in place. So that's basically where the first 6 months went, and also integrating to a last mile delivery network, which is extremely important for our business. Since then, we have transformed from a cost center into a value generation business unit as we speak. Now, as I said, with 8 strategic locations, close to 25 customers as of what we have, 25 active customers, and about 200,000 square feet of warehouse space by the end of this year. So it's a big change in business. On the other hand, when we speak of market knowledge about Pos Fulfill, that's growing as well. We are actively seen at trade events, business conferences, and industry events. We are also increasingly participating in customer tenders, which is great. So customers are recognizing that we are around. So we get invited for more tenders. There's a lot more media coverage for Pos Fulfill now compared to a couple of years ago, which helps to educate the industry of our presence and our services. And obviously podcasts such as these help as well. So thank you.
I suppose, you're an experienced logistics professional. It must be exciting on a personal level also for you and your team to be involved in building something like this?
Oh, absolutely. My team and I, we are absolutely passionate about building this as a team. My team has been with me throughout this journey. So right from putting up a sales team to an operations team, it's been an exciting journey. We've gone through the tough times. Today, where we are, the business is actually looking much better, obviously, 2.5 years down into the journey. So it's been exciting, and the team's enjoying the journey as well. So I'm enjoying the journey as well.
Now, just before we wrap up, can you just share one key takeaway that you'd like potential clients to remember about Pos Fulfill?
Sure. I think the one key takeaway I would want our customers to remember about Pos Fulfill would be a certainty of service, that certainty that their orders will be fulfilled, whether it's campaign times, festive times, normal times, irrespective of location within Malaysia, irrespective of where the parcel originates from within Malaysia. As I said, we've got a fairly decent footprint across the country and where it's supposed to be delivered. So irrespective of where it's supposed to be delivered within Malaysia or internationally. So that is what I want customers and basically our e-commerce sellers, to take away end of the day, is the certainty of service that their parcels will be delivered.
Rohit, we've covered a great amount of territory in this very short conversation, really. But if people want to find out more about Pos Fulfill, where should they go? Is there a website they should visit?
So they should be visiting our Pos Malaysia website, pos.com.my, pos.com.my. And from there, they will be guided on to the fulfillment services link.
I'll put a link to the website on thepostalhub.com as well. So if you are out jogging right now or lifting weights at the gym or whatever it is that you do while you're listening to the podcast, go to thepostalhub.com, look for the episode page and you'll find the link there. Rohit Gunavanthe, Head of Fulfilment at Pos Malaysia, thank you very much for joining us on the Postal Hub podcast today.
Thank you, Ian. Pleasure talking to you.
Coming soon on the Postal Hub podcast, Dr. Selena Silvestri, a research scientist at the MIT Centre for Transportation and Logistics, will be talking about e-commerce packaging. Don't miss this or any of the other great episodes coming up soon on the Postal Hub podcast. Remember to subscribe to the podcast in your favourite podcast platform. It only takes a moment, and that way you get a notification every time there's a new episode available. Leave a rating while you're over there, though, please. 5-star rating. Go on, give us a treat. What else? Follow me on LinkedIn. Go to LinkedIn, the app, the website, whatever it is, however you access LinkedIn, and you can follow me and get something other than all the other AI generated corporate BS that you get out there at the moment. It's terrible, isn't it, sometimes? You have to wade through just rivers of... Anyway, don't get me worked up on that. I'm getting myself worked up on it. I shouldn't ask you for permission. Anyway, never mind. Moving swiftly onwards, subscribe to my email newsletters, go to thepostalhub.com and find out more there. And if you want to email me about anything at all, my email address is ian@thepostalhub.com. I'm Ian Kerr. Thanks for listening in, and I look forward to your company next time on the Postal Hub podcast.